Hallelujah. Give him the highest praise. Hallelujah. Give him the highest praise. Hallelujah. Give him the highest praise. In the morning when I wake up, in the night when I wake up, I will lift up my voice to heaven and give you the highest praise. Hallelujah to my King. Hallelujah to my Father. Hallelujah to my Jesus. I bow before the throne. When I look at all the wonder and I see all the creation, the beauty of the universe, you never, never change. You never, never lie. You never, never change. You never, never care. Hallelujah to my Jesus. Hallelujah. 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 Hey, hey. Hallelujah. Give it. Hallelujah. The highest praise. Hallelujah. Give him the highest praise. Hallelujah. Give him the highest praise. Hey, I'm not afraid, Jehovah. Come now, worship Jehovah. It is of the prison. Come the prison. It is of everything. Oh, the worshiping. Oh, he gave me life. I will praise his name. I'm here to praise my God, oh, because he gave me life. Come celebrate, come jubilate, come now worship him. He deserves the praise. Hallelujah, giving the higher praise. Hallelujah, giving the higher praise. Hallelujah, giving, hallelujah, giving the highest praise. Hallelujah, giving the highest praise. Yeah, hallelujah, giving the highest praise. Ooh, hallelujah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Good afternoon, folks. I'm Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing your beautiful time. Monday afternoon is little after. It's 2 minutes to 12 Eastern Standard Time right here at the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. And very shortly, we will get this program on the way. Stay tuned. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah to Jesus. Okay, we want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am Alfonso Z, and so right here of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Welcome to this special Liberia Public Radio Special Edition, taking you inside one of the newest political parties in Liberia, the People's Liberation Party, PLP, of Dr. Lauren Cassell, is now in trouble. Well, for the first time, Liberia Public Radio has been working behind the scenes, speaking with top officials of the party to give them a fair share and get their side of the story. Initially, it cycled in the news corridor that Dr. Cassell was suspended or expelled as head of the political party of which he established. Who is Dr. Lauren Cassell?
We managed to reach inside the Liberation Party, PLP, and the Secretary General, who I know very well, used to be in Pennsylvania, Mr. Daniel GAYOU, finally picked up our phone call and has agreed to appear on a Liberia public radio. On the day of appearance, we are getting news that Dr. Kase is being transferred in New Jersey. There seems to be more escalations of his political career. Where does the People Liberation Party stand in the absence of its political leader? What are the contingency plans? Is it paving the way of the ruling establishment, the Congress for Democratic Change in Liberia, of most of the opposition parties are now facing political threat or their political career on the line? We have the Alexander Cummings of the Alternative National Congress currently being investigated as well. The CPP, the collaboration, is not holding. Who it benefits, thus leaving Liberia to many questions and apprehension. The banner you see behind me here is the official residence of the Presidency of the Republic of Liberia, Executive Mansion. This is the bidding. All of these guys are scrambling to be on the 8th floor, on the 4th floor, or wherever the president resides. Now, in 2023, is at a crossroad in Liberia, and Liberians are gearing up. Three major consequential elections: the presidency, and both parliaments or house of government. The first branch, the executive, the representative, and that of the senatorial, all at stake come 2023. What are the contingency plans of one of the newest political parties in the country, Dr. Lawrence Kase? What is the conversation going inside the Liberation Party, PLP, and the future of its political leader? Well, my guest is standing by right now in the nation's capital of Monrovia. Mr. Daniel GAYOU is the National Secretary General. We are grateful that they were able to pick up our call and agree to appear on the Liberia Public Radio to give them fair share. Let's get the conversation going. Okay, it's 12:02 Eastern Standard Time, a little after 4 o'clock in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. Let me bring in my special guest, Mr. Daniel GAYOU, who is the Secretary General of the People's Liberation Party, PLP, of Dr. Lawrence Kase. Let's have the conversation. Okay, so let's see here. My guest is here. Let me do a quick editing here. I mean, they let your knee, so let me just do it here. Yeah. Let me put it there. Yeah, folks, just bear with us here a little bit, and we will get this conversation going right here. Okay. All right. I like to do it like this so that they will know exactly. There we go. Okay. Mr. Secretary, just elevate your camera a little bit so that we get a clear picture of you and my viewer. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see here.
Is that all right?
Okay. It's all right. Right there. Okay. My dear friend and brother Tai, good evening in the nation's capital of Monrovia. How are you today?
Good afternoon. Alfonso, I'm doing very good. And it's a pleasure that we can be on the platform this evening and this afternoon in the United States and across the world.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's have a friendly conversation here from the start. That does not guarantee this conversation going to be, it will end on a friendly note. That I can tell you. LPR is not a strange network for our youth. We had a conversation in the past. How is it? I didn't know. Let's have a little conversation here and tell our viewers who is Daniel GAYOU.
Daniel GAYOU is the National Secretary General of the People's Liberation Party. He has over 27 years of experience of politically. Have worked with so many political institutions, so many organizations, both in Liberia and the USA. We are privileged to be the Secretary General of the biggest opposition party in Liberia, and therefore that we wish to speak directly to the Liberian people, both in Liberia and in the diaspora. We have many of our partisans and sympathizers in Europe, in the Americas, and across the globe. So it's an opportunity to appear on the platform today.
I thought this BKS platform, I thought it's within the BKS opposition, BKS platform. I thought it is only with us in the news cycle, not knowing they have this BKS opposition, BKS it's all
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Liberia. Are you kidding me?
yeah. We are the biggest opposition party in the country right now as we speak.
How you got to that definition?
Based on our strength, numerically, where we are, that determines, you know, that we are the biggest of our opposition party. We currently, we are more than about 400 plus thousand partisans, registered partisans across the country. So if you sum that, I don't think any party right now in Liberia has a registry that can match the POP.
Okay. So let's have it. You want to actively involve. Well, let's come back to our community before transitioning or moving inside to Liberia. You were heavily involved into community organization here, Uniboa, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I serve Unamboa in several capacity. Unamboa, just for the listening audience, is a United Basa organization in the Americas. We are based in 17 different states across the U.S. I also became member of the Liberian Association of Pennsylvania and EULA as well as in fact, I'm the founder of the biggest men's organization in Pennsylvania called the Gentlemen's Club back in 2004 when I established that organization. Currently, it is the only professional men's organization as we have in the United States, all men and all professional men in the U.S.
Okay, good. All right. So, put a word for you. Not a stranger. We are interacted in the past, and here we are. You are on the stage, Secretary General of the BKS opposition, as you rightfully say, using your own words. It's good. Again, Mr. Secretary, I want to thank you so much for honoring our invitation
Thank you,
to
Alfonso.
give the party, the executive or the institution to a fair share and not just to jump with news circulating in the media or in the cyberspace without hearing directly people in charge of the party. And for full disclosure, Dr. Kase is not a stranger to me. Yeah, we lived together a long time. Stephen Tower SD, house number 6364. So there is. However, we're going to make this conversation more proportional, fair, and balanced. Okay, bring up to speed here. Where is the PLP? Where is the People's Liberation Party as we speak of today?
The People's Liberation Party, the funds that we speak, is stable. All of our structures are functional across Liberia and in the diaspora. We are moving as a political party. The national chairman who runs the day-to-day affairs of the party is sound, and he's directing the affairs of the People Liberation Party. So we are fine and we are in good shape.
I hear about the national chairman, not the political leader as is being coined inside Liberia. What can you tell us? On the day of you appearance, major news outlet, one of Liberia's uh, major news and underprint media in the USA, African Star and other news outlet is reporting that Dr. Kase is being transferred uh, in Trenton, New Jersey. Before we come to that, let me do this. I want to play this here for the benefit of our listening audience, and we can have a conversation. Just hold on there. Let's have this play here.
Vijay is standard bearer of the People's Liberation Party, the PLP.
I bring you greetings in my own name, for and on behalf of my family, the People's Liberation Party, during the celebration of this new year. I wish you all a spirited, blissful Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2022. My fellow compatriots, the year 2021 was marked with extreme poverty, economic backwardness, lack of respect for the rule of law, the rise of injustices, violation of the constitutional rights of our citizens, ritualistic killings and unexplained deaths, flaunting of ill-gotten wealth by our president and his confidants, depletion of our country's wealth and resources to benefit the elites and those under him of power, attack on critical voices and perceived enemies of the state, clamping down on opposition politicians, the provision of crumbs as salaries to our already struggling mothers, fathers, sisters, daughters, and sons who are serving in public service and continue to feel the worst of a shattered economy, while those closer to power walk away with fabulous salaries and benefits. The elevation of the spectator's role being played by Liberians in their own economy, despite the professed and deceitful promise made by the president when he was inaugurated in January of 2018. Cronyism, partisanship, among others. The economy.
Okay, that was just sounding most presidential, showing strength, ready to lead. That was Dr. Lauren Cassell, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So talk to me here. He came as a change agent to get things right. How we got to this point here? Is there any idea inside the People's Liberation Party as to how you got to this point?
Um, the People Liberation Party was established just about 2 years ago. In solving some of the problems that were downtrodden Liberians are ongoing in Liberia. Poverty is at the highest level. Unemployment is at the highest level. A lot of security is at the highest level in our nation. And Dr. Cassell believed in that he can change the course of action. And the only way he can do that is through a political process. And that is why he deemed it more expedient to be a candidate in the 2023 election to contest the presidency, to solving some of the challenges that Liberia is now faced with. So that gave birth to the People Liberation Party. We want to liberate Liberian people from abject poverty. We want to ensure that there is safety, public safety for all Liberians. And we believe that through Dr. Cassell, these things can be done. And we still believe that Dr. Cassell has the ability to redeem the Liberian people. So the liberation struggle that Dr. Cassell envisioned is still going on as we speak. So thousands of people believing in this vision to be liberated, they are tuning into the PLP. People are signing up across the country. As I said earlier, currently our membership registry has over 400,000 Liberians that have registered into the PLP. So there's a clear manifestation that the PLP is a government in waiting. So this is how all it started. That Cassell is a humanitarian as well, and he believed that he needed to do more for the Liberian people, constructing the roads, building bridges, building marketplaces across Liberia, providing scholarships. In fact, the People's Liberation Party is the only political party from the opposition bloc that has the highest scholarship in Liberia. So these are some of the things that prompted the formation of the People Liberation Party and making Dr. Cassell at our national convention in 2021 as a standard bearer to contest in the 2023 election in Liberia.
Let's have a little bit conversations, a little bit background here. How this name People's Liberation Party was arrived? How this name came about? Do you have a sense of how People's
Um,
Liberation Party? Why People's Liberation Party?
I think that the People Liberation Party emerged from the Dada Cassell's Foundation and the Friends of Cassell, actually. The Friends of Cassell believe that based on the humanitarian gesture of Dada Cassell, there was a need. Having assessed the problems that are unfolding in Liberia, there was a need for him to contest the presidency. In doing so, Liberia needed or needs to be liberated. And so the
Liberator
funders
from Liberator from
are from poverty. Our people are suffering. Um, Liberians are living on less than $1 in our own country. The economy of Liberia is in the hands of foreigners. So there has to be a liberation. And it is through the process that the party came about. We can have a country that the economy, we are not equally distributing the wealth that we have in this country. And these are the issues that the PLP want to address. For the equitable
is the world
distribution, oh yeah,
is
we
the world
want to equitably distribute the wealth of this country by, engaging into programs.
is there a belief of the PLP that the wealth of Liberia is being disproportional?
Definitely, I mean, we can see it where our people are living in massive poverty. Young people who are even, college graduate can find a job. You don't have no investment in the country. I think you have less than about 15 to 20%. Again, I want to be clear that maybe the data must be wrong, but from all indication that unemployment is at an alarming rate based on UN information. Young people can find a job. People that live right here cannot find a job. They can sustain themselves. Family cannot send their children to school. And there were thousands of them are floating to the PLP for scholarships.
Okay, let's get to some critical talking point here. When was the last time you spoke or the executive spoke with Dr. Cassell?
Dr. Cassell left from Liberia the 16th of March of this year en route to the United States. On the 16th, it was when we spoke with him. In fact, before while at the Rouse International Airport, he spoke with the national chairman. Um, on the 17th, I sent him a text message. He didn't respond. Unfortunately, on the 24th, we have a front page Africa News report that Dada Cassell was arrested in Atlanta, Georgia.
So the party was elected through front page. Is that what you're saying?
Definitely, yes.
You don't have party members, executive here in the USA?
Oh, we spoke with the chairperson of the party in the USA. They themselves were shocked when they read the front page Africa information. They called Liberia to know what was happening. So we decided to go after that information to know whether it was true. The national chairman got on the phone with family members to accepting the reality. Um, yes, we realized that he did encounter law enforcement in Atlanta, Georgia.
When you
Um,
say encounter law enforcement, what precisely are you saying?
we read from Front Page Africa that he was arrested in Atlanta, Georgia.
So in essence, the news reported by front page, as far as you are concerned, is
Yes.
correct. Is correct.
Oh, yes. The information on From Africa, yes, is correct. We can deny that. It's not correct. It's correct. We will verify the information, and it is correct. But currently, as we speak, Dada Cassell is in New Jersey
Doing
with his
doing
family.
what? Doing what?
Dada Cassell is in New Jersey. When you encounter the law in the United States, especially outside the jurisdiction of any issue, for an example, if you live in Rhode Island, and
I'm being
doesn't
used as I'm being used as a case study right now, correct?
yeah. So he was living from Liberia. He got to Atlanta, Georgia. Unfortunately, Front Page Africa reported that he was arrested by the sheriff in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, Georgia do not have anything on Dada Cassell. So, on federal law, he needed to be held. So,
Okay, just bear with us. You know the internet system in Liberia. Let me
Yeah,
see
yeah,
here.
yeah. It's
Okay,
horrible.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
go
horrible.
ahead.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
these are
So
some of the things
yeah.
you
So
want to elaborate. Uh-huh.
as we speak, Dr. Kasa is no longer in Atlanta, Georgia. He's currently in New Jersey. Um, from information that we gathered from his wife last night, he's in New Jersey, safe and sound.
When you say he's in New Jersey, where specifically can you tell her he is right now in New Jersey?
Dr. Cassell live actually on the outskirts. I don't know his home in New Jersey, but he live on the outskirts of New Jersey. So from what we gathered, in fact, this morning, he went to court today, which is Monday. He went to court today, and he was bailed out. So he's currently home.
So you are telling LPR for the first time that Dr. Kassé is home instead of being maybe with the authorities or in custody, as been reported. So
From
your
yeah,
latest information,
from family
you're
source,
telling us. Mhm.
from family source, we gathered just this morning. He appeared in court for preliminary hearing, and there was a bail set, but we don't have the
So,
detail on the bail.
but what you do know is at home.
Definitely, yeah. This is what we are told from family source.
What is the contingency plan now of the People's Liberation Party? It's a political institution. I do know, following the histories of Liberian political party, more or less it's centered around individuals. So when the hair is in trouble, the party crumbles. Even not even trouble when when the hair is out, the party crumble. Is there backup plan? Is there contingency plan ongoing within the People's Liberation Party that you can tell us?
The People Liberation Party is an exceptional institution. As I indicated earlier, all of our structures are functioning. The party is running on a day-to-day basis. In fact, if I were to carry this of our computer outside, you will see the tons of people that are jubilating outside. And so,
What are they jubilating for?
oh, we are not mourning for anything. We are not mourning. The party is stable. While we regret the situation that the standard bearer was held temporarily, the party has to move on. And that is why we have our structures functioning. In fact, Wednesday we will be in District 10, parading in District 10 and carrying out our recruitment process. So the party is stronger, more than stronger. Even though we understand in Liberia that standard bearers of political party, if they are no longer around or they are not around for a short time, then the party will cease to exist. That is not with the People Liberation Party. We are a party that we are funded by the people. There's a people-driven political party in Liberia. We are strong and our structures are well intact.
So, okay, when was he taken to New Jersey, Mr. GAYOU?
From family source, we were told that that was on Saturday.
On Saturday. As the executive of the party, have you had a conference call, for example, with him?
No, we haven't. We are anticipating that. In fact, not just a conference call, but we are dispatching a delegation to the United States to meet with him.
From Saturday, today is Monday, little over 24 hours. Why is he not speaking with the executive of the party to tell them to bring them up to speed?
We think that after a long flight and encountering the situations that he didn't expect, we believe that he deserves to have some rights. We are doing everything possible to reach out to him, and as soon as we can make the arrangement, we'll definitely contact Lpr to let you know that we have spoken with him. But we think, in our understanding, that he's fine and everything is going on very good.
Is there any crime committed as far as you are concerned with the limited information?
Everything we are hearing is by media, is by the media. That
what is the family? What is the wife, or what are the family? What are they saying?
We haven't been told specifically on things that had happened. We only read from the news that he was a fugitive from justice. There were Medicaid fraud issue. We haven't been able to authenticate those issues, whether they are true or false. But eventually we are going to get there to know exactly what is unfolding.
What happens if these things are proven to be right? What next?
The PLP will continue to exist, and this is why we are making sure that, in fact, in the next few days to come, we will be carrying all the county tour across the country to strengthen more our chapters, to making sure that they remain strong, and that PLP will continue to survive and move on as a political entity. And we are going to participate in the 2023 presidential and legislative elections in Liberia.
I'm grateful because when this news circulated, I will reach out with the executive, and this is a press release came out from the executive, the leadership here. So let me ask you here, was there sort of political divide when this news broke that the political leader of PLP was arrested and the chairman automatically is taken over? That has been rejected. How this came about? Are there folks that are calling for his replacement within the PLP?
Liberia is a country that operates on myth. They say hearsay. When the situation occurred, we ourselves we read from the same front page Africa that the Cassell was of the PLP was pondering to suspend Dr. Cassell. Let me just say this in this clear manner that at no time did the People Liberation Party National Executive Committee meet to discuss suspension. When we got the information, it was troubling to every one of us. There was no way that we will even think about suspending anybody from our party, even if they were wrong in doing anything. Well, no time. So it was total speculations.
Why it took so long? Why he could not reach the party executive as to what was unfolding? Why you think we're responsible for that?
We cannot give an absolute response in that regard. You want to gather information to know what is unfolding. You want to engage the public on issues and being transparent. And the PLP being a transparent political entity, all of our officials, they live up to that values and expectations. So I think that people are being considered thoughts before maybe telling the institution what was happening and the way forward. So we are not waver about that. The institution is stronger. We are moving on strong, and of our structures are fine. Of our county leadership, we have stability, across the country, even at the national headquarters. So there is no division within the party. So I think these media institutions like the Front Page Africa, they want to make money for their paper. They're looking at big heads.
But it was a few Front Page Africa. You got the news, Mr. Secretary.
We don't know. We don't know. People have a lot of network. Francis Young is running the LPRN. He has a series of network how to get information. So Front Page Africa, as a media outlet, they have information from individuals, from institutions. Not everybody would like a Francis Young. So people looking at breaking news. If Francis Young something happened to him, so they run with this kind of a story. So Dr. Cassell is not a small name
even
internationally.
Even though the story is correct.
Oh no, we agree. We agree that the story is correct. He was arrested.
How serious? You've been in the States. You've been here. How serious are these charges? It's more or less on a federal level, correct? Is that your understanding as well?
We don't know yet if it is at the federal level or at the national level or at which level. We don't have details. So as we have the updates, we'll be getting back to our partisans and the Liberian people on the actual happenings. Right now, we cannot speak to those details to know what the charges are and if there will be one. And if there will be, then we will be speaking directly to Dr. Cassell, sit down this week, or to the lawyer. Or maybe if the lawyer advised that, hey, don't talk to anybody right now, that will be from the legal context. So right now, we cannot say anything specific.
Let me ask you, opposition, government, advocates, community, people are in the business of this sort of transparency. We will do it better than those that are there. I can remember, if I'm getting ahead of my shadow, was there any press conference on the part of PLP to tell the Liberian people in order to set the pace? Yes, this is what's going on with our political leader, but we want to be transparent. We want to come out front to tell the Liberian people. Was there any sort of briefing to tell the Liberian people exactly what was happening?
We came out with a press statement on the 24th that I transmitted to you. When we got the
Yeah.
information, we decided to elect the Liberian people, our partisans. The People Liberation Party is an institution that believes in the rule of law. And therefore, if any of our officials of memo was caught up into any legal issues, it's a good thing for us to inform our people on the happenings. At the same time, we had to be mindful that if you don't have the details of those issues, you cannot put in order. And so we'll continue to follow the situation as it unfolds, and we'll update our partisans and the Liberian people as we go on with this issue.
Do you think this has created a political dent on Dr. Cassel's political future for Liberia? Even though even though we have Fanati Kofa, who is a deputy speaker, we know the history. You know the history. So Liberia is a different land on planet Ivy. But I'm just asking. Do you think it's a political dent? We don't know what's going to be the outcome. We don't want to be judgmental here. But do you think it's a distraction to his message to the Liberian people as the person that was coming as perhaps as a change agent to liberate people from poverty, like you rightfully said?
It is our belief that Dr. Cassell will be exonerated. Let me just share this with you, Alfonso, that before Charles Taylor became president of this country, he was arrested in Boston. He's the president. He was president of this country. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, before her ascendancy to the presidency, she was arrested. And just as you mentioned about Honorable Councillor Fanati Kofa, who was arrested and jailed in the United States on Medicaid fraud. Today, he's the deputy speaker of the House. What we are wishing for is that we are convinced that Dr. Cassell will be exonerated from those perceived charges. If there should be one, and there's a possibility, we are very convinced that he's going to win the presidency come 2023.
You're going to be the president. So quick, you are following the trend or the the patterns of people, how they get out there to the higher top. This is what he tweeted on the 24th of March at 9:12 p.m. This too shall pass. What is he saying? What is the interpretation of this? What are you or what the party sends out from this tweet from Dr. Cassell on March 24th? This too shall pass.
Every storm that comes, it have to pass away. Every problems that comes, it has to go away, no matter the duration of that trouble, or no matter the duration of that storms. So what we are saying in perspective is that everything that is happening right now, there will be a closure. But the PFP has to move on as we are doing right now. Nothing lasts forever. If it is true that there is an issue,
when does the executive committee hope to establish direct contact to get a first-hand inside information, and not from not from LPR, not from African Star, not from this soundbite from the Facebook? When do you hope to have established contact?
Hopefully this week, we hope to get an insight, and as soon as we can have an light on those issues, we are going to inform you to give you details on the happenings. At the same time, we have to be very mindful on the privacy of Dr. Cassell as it comes to legal issues in the United States. There are things that probably would not be able to address because of the legality. We don't know yet. So until we get those information, then we address them appropriately.
Did I hear you saying in our conversation that there's a delegation en route to the United States?
The People Liberation Party is dispatching a delegation to the United States in the soonest possible time to ascertain information on what is unfolding. We expect that to happen very soon. And as soon as that can happen, we will be updating our partisans and the Liberian
How many persons are we talking about? And what specifically is that a support system they are coming to solve?
Yes. Yes, Alfonso. Firstly, besides being the Senate bearer of the People's Liberation Party, Dr. Cassell is our friend. He's a human being that loves everybody, and that is why the entire country call him Mr. Good Man. And if there's an issue, as we are hearing, we think that in our mind, we should be able to reach out to provide support to him. And we are under that obligation in doing so as our friend, as our brother, as our stand-up bearer. We have to stand up with him until we see the end of the situation.
Is there nervousness within the PLP as we speak?
Can you repeat what you said?
Is there some sort of nervousness? People are
Oh,
nervous?
no. In fact, we are a party. That's part of the fact that we are 2 years old, but it's a mature political party. As I indicated earlier, all of our structures are functional. Our counties are working. In fact, let me just share this with you, Alfonso. Just yesterday, which was Sunday, the national vice chairperson for Exonerist Affairs were able to recruit about 200 persons just in 1 hour time in one of the community. But next week, we will have thousands of people that will be coming to the PLP headquarters to register. So there's not about
But
whether
the
we
guy,
have
the
anything.
Mr. Secretary, the guy that is on top, the guy who's projected to be the stand-up barrier come 2023 is facing his sort of grave, in my own context, grave charges, and he's away, not even in Liberia. We don't know how it's going to end. Then I'm not suggesting it should end on the wrong path. So why all of this? Is that political correctness?
Firstly, we don't know if charges will be filed. That's number one. If charges will be filed, we will know what it entails. But beside those issues, the party is an entity. Remember that the PLP can sue, and the PLP can be sued as a legal institution. At the same time, Dr. Cassell is the CEO for the Quantum Professional company in the United States. So this issue, we believe, it all fall within the context of the law. We will have to move on as a political party. At the same time, we express our sympathy for the fact that we have our Senate bearer in a situation that we expect to be resolved soon. And so we are moving on as a political party. That's why every day we have activities here. In the next few weeks to come, we'll be installing or inducting into office official of the 17 electoral districts in Mosoraro County. So we are not sad. We understand that the issues will take place.
Yeah, LPR is a network. We are not in the entertainment business. We are not in the business of creating drama. And this is why we like to reach out to the people on top of the news. And we've been working the phone lines before we even made this place. And I'm happy to Mr. Bayan, because he was the first person that contacted and managed to reach you. And we are happy that you were able to furnish us with some concrete news. Let me ask you this question. Now you are here. We are also hearing other folks are telling us, LPR, the authenticity of this news is yet to be confirmed. Is there any link with Dr. Cassell and that of Ellen Cochran, who is also in trouble with FAIR? Do you have any information regarding
No,
that?
absolutely not. Firstly, we don't have details on what is unfolding with Dr. Cassell until we can establish.
Just bear with us. Just bear with us. I soon he came back, and we will just bear with us. I'm Alfonso Z, and so in an exclusive with the National Secretary General of the People's Liberation Party, is an opposition to political institutions in Liberia. Mr. Daniel GAYOU is on the line. Let me just remove this yet, and I'm going to be breaking back. I am Alfonso Z, and so right here this evening, for the first time, LPR is getting the in-depth insight on the political future of the institutions and its tender burial, Dr. Lawrence Cassell, who is currently, we have been told, PLP is now confirming that he's been transferred in New Jersey. He just gone off, and we hope to bring him back here, and we will have more conversation here tonight and be able to follow through here to get an in-depth. This is what we want to do. So we want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe in Liberia, outside of Liberia, USA, and other parts of the world. We want to thank you so much. And this brings us in question, with all of this that is happening within the opposition, who does it benefit? Is the ruling establishment is gaining the political landscape? The four political parties, I can definitely say they are all dead and gone. Ellis Cummings of the ANC is fighting his own consistent in Liberia. Here we are, the People's Liberation Party, Daniel Cassette, one of the newest political party, is also in a major fight here with Fed as a federal government here in the US. It has now been confirmed by Mr. GAYOU, who is the Secretary General of the People's Liberation Party in Liberia, that he, Dr. Cassell, is now in New Jersey. His original residential place. He was picked up, he was arrested in Atlanta, Georgia, as was reported by Front Page. He alluded that, and now he's telling us. But however, he said he's out on bail, is home, and he was in court today. I am Alfonso Z, and so let's see. Yeah, hopefully he's going to join us back yet, and we will have more conversations. Stay tuned.
At the state broadcasting assistant, ELBC, to be able to voice my interventions, my agenda, as well as the vision that I have for our country.
Okay, because the reason I ask, I know, the perception is there that the state broadcasting not just open to people of alternative views, but under this administration, we saw that that should be a different, that should be a different thing. So that's the reason I ask you, how do you sit on broadcasting?
I feel good. And I think this should be the way that broadcasting should go. Because media should be that neutral body, that will disseminate information to the public, objectively, so that the public will be able to formulate a perception and inform them in terms of the decision.
Okay, now let's go into your closet quickly. Just in 2 minutes. Daniel.
Well, Dr. Daniel Cassell, he's foremost, he's being introduced to Liberia as a humanitarian.
Politician.
Yes.
Strong politician.
Yes. By virtue of being a future bearer and political leader of the Liberation Party. First and foremost, I mean.
So you've been having a political credential.
What would you consider political
I've been shouting out in the Senate, as of representatives, even helping the poor people, helping people in destitution around.
That's much more credible than politicians. Politicians don't get the job done. Humanitarian who has come from the copper world, who has been very successful in the copper world, and who brings copper politics and modern politics in Liberia. And who knows how to get work done, and who's solution oriented, environmental oriented. That's the kind of person our country needs. So for years, our politicians have built our country. They have guided us in this mess.
Okay, now, so you've been telling us about.
Okay, there you have it.
Yes,
there you have it.
Introduction, to the like.
There you have it. That's in one of his interviews in Liberia. Let me just put this here. I'm hoping that our guests will come back here when we hope to get your reaction, you, our many viewers and listeners, from what you've been listening to. Okay, Fatu, thank you. I believe it's coming from our microphone. I'm sure that echo go going away. So let me just put a number out there while we still wait. Hopefully that you're going to join us before we can wrap this. There are still unanswered questions. But as you know, the internet system in Liberia sometimes is challenging as well. But if you are followed from the onset of this conversation, then you as a Liberian, whether you are for, against, opposition, imposition, no position, but what I consider as a patriotic Liberian, I want you to call this number 682-433-8802 to express your view or an opinion. However, views and opinion expressed on this network does not in any way represent the views of the management and staff of the Liberia Public Radio. We do facilitate this high-call conversation. We now know that Dr. Daniel Cassell, that his younger brother, Lawrence, Dr. Daniel Cassell is now in New Jersey. He's been transferred. Whatever crime, it was not committed in Georgia, so he's been transferred. We yet to know the details as alluded by the National Secretary General, nor they have not had a direct conversation with him as well, which is a little bit sort of hair scratching. Since this whole thing, there must be some sort of conversation, something, some executive members, sure. But however, he was also crystal clear that they will dispatch a delegation here. They're going to be dispatching a delegation in the states very soon. We will when it really becomes known, when they depart Liberia or when they get, hopefully we're going to know. But the number is there, 682-433-8802. It's also available via WhatsApp, just in case you want to call. And waiting to see if Mr. GAYOU, who is the secretary, will join us here. In the meantime, let's just take a little quick commercial, and I will be right back as we having this conversation. A lot is unfolding. So we have we'll also be having a discussion not today, the case surrounding the late Princess Ikopo in Liberia. Why all of these things always happening? I saw the protester today before the Capitol building. What I still have apprehensions about is the conclusive aspect. Many a times we've seen protests and I position statement or whatever it's been I presented, and at the end of the day, it is why it is. Where are the advocates group, women's organization? This is a young lady who has gone out there, and from the limited information we know so far, someone that seems to be resourceful to do things on her own. I saw some of the picture, and we're going to be talking to the journalist Bafon Edwin of Sister Network Cool FM, the first journalist that broke this news. We're going to be having him here as well to get an insight of what happens and some of the story. I believe she got a daughter, and her life was just cut short, broad daylight. And the police spokesperson, even though I am not an investigator, I am not a doctor, but the circumstances surrounding the death of Madame Cooper, for the police chief to come out from, supposedly there is no fire. It's heartbreaking. Let's take a break and I'll be right back.
From the West African nation of Côte d'Ivoire, Liberia Public Radio and Television present Business Diary. This program focuses on the activities of business institutions and individuals in society.
I'm Jeremiah Zawu Senior, CEO of All Nation Bar. It has been very good to have this business established here. We are 1 year since we opened here in Anono. There have been few challenges here that have faced in this country, and that is all about the language. But here instead, I refuse to be deterred. I refuse to be discouraged. I open a business and things have been fine.
My name is Mercy Wangari-Nganga. I am a finance officer working for an international organization. I have a master's degree in business administration. So today I'd like to take the opportunity to talk to you about the COVID pandemic and how it has affected the business sector in terms of me working in an organization, an international organization.
Don't miss out. Be my guest. It's coming soon on Liberia Public Radio and Television.
Okay, there's Business Diary with our man in the West African state of Abidjan, La Côte d'Ivoire. Our man Benjamin Tibet will be bringing that Business Diary. We don't just talk politics alone here on this network. We also look at businesses, entrepreneurs, and other people that are making meaningful contributions, not just only in Liberia, but outside of Liberia. We must showcase every aspect and not these politicians and who are just in it for themselves, these advocates, people who profess to be advocates, but they are just in it for their own political gains or things that are going to be politically rewarded. I think it's time for us to get out of the box and look at successful or potential young or medium and businesses and people that are involved, innovative Liberians outside of Liberia, to also give them the opportunity to showcase some of the goodness of Liberia, not just this drama all of the times that we find ourselves in. We are not going to entice and drown ourselves into this drama that is unfolding. So if you're out there, Liberians, wherever you are, and we're on planet Earth, as long as you are reachable, let us know if you have a narrative, you have a story, you have something to share with our audience, with Liberians, and the rest of the world. Let us know. We can do that. Anything of productive in nature that you can do that will make us proud as a Liberian, as a country, as a people. That's not everything about the country is bad. There are some folks that are doing pretty well, good, and they are flying the red, white, and blue national anthem of the country. So we must be able to give these people opportunity as well. Well, I'm still waiting to see if I can get, but the number is out there just in case you want to make your contribution on this, our conversation here today. The number is 682-433-8802. The number is also available via WhatsApp. You can call and we can get your take. I'm trying to reach out, but I'm not still getting the response. So I'm not sure what is happening. Maybe finding it very difficult. And so it is why it is. But I'm Alfonso Z, and so we will keep you posted of what is happening inside Liberia and here. And hopefully we are grateful because most of these people, sometimes you call them, but for the man father, he has agreed. He agreed to come here, and he kept up to the appointment as both parties stipulated to appear here to have a conversation. So we are very, very, very much grateful of that. That is another aspect of openness, and we think is a good thing. This is what people who wants to lead, they must bring some sort of openness and not to be selective where to go, which way to go, or friendly media outlet for which they think they can express their thoughts or where they think they're going to get a free pass. That's not what we do here. So we do it with respect, but we also ask all of the high questions, but it's at your own relation to choose not to answer, which is okay. But we tend to give people the fair share to make it proportional so that they will have their side of the story. So, folks, that's where we stand for now. And we'll also be having Mr. Bafayant is from Cool FM. Hopefully, if it goes well, I want to see how it looks. So we're going to be having there are more information coming up with respect to the death of Princess Copper. It's a very, 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 very tough day. This is the lady. Now, we reported yesterday, we hinted yesterday, this gentleman here, the identity of this gentleman here is yet to be established. But we are hearing from LPR, this person needs to be talked to. If anybody can establish the identity of this individual, we are hearing this individual had an extensive conversation with her, and there's a need that they talk to. Therefore, we are be hearing is unconfirmed. The police has not verified. The police has not reported that. However, sources and other folks that are close to this whole process, we are hearing that gentleman in the yellow t-shirt was in an extensive conversation, which is unusual, was at the same. The purpose of that is yet to be yet to be established. But we are hoping that the police should make a headway because there must be a reason for which Madam Cooper left Capitol Hill to go as far as ELW8 Junction at the Flowers Building material. And it was not an automatic, it's not a helicopter that the same halt in the backyard. We strongly believe there's somewhere she passed to enter and who or she encountered. These are unanswered questions, and for the police to come out to say there is no foul play, neither am I suggesting there was a foul play, but I yet to still see the conclusiveness of this investigation I didn't see in the press conference with the medical team or medical examiners or coroner to come out to say, well, we examined the mortar of this person in XYZ. So on what basis was the police spokesperson Moses Carter? We have tried all means to give in a fair share to explain or to get the actual interpretations of there is no foul play. I was a little bit surprised, not necessarily surprised, disappointed when he appears on Spoon Network. There was no pushback because there was a contradiction. The family spokesperson or the gentleman that appeared on Spoon, Dr. Momo, gave a description, presented a diagram, and said there was some bruise on the forehead. On the other hand, Moses Carter is saying there was nothing. So I was surprised why they didn't push back. How can he reconcile what Dr. Momo was saying? Is it true? Is there any truth? But they allow it to slide. Nobody pushed back. And this is unfair. And this is why when we are having conversation with these people and the citizens and ordinary people are in desperation to get the facts, we must listen keenly when these people are talking, when our guests are saying, especially these crucial and consequential talking, painful conversation. People must be held accountable. You know, I know in the West, when such a thing happens, the police, the district attorney, the medical examiners or medical personnel, they will come out. So I think it is time that this sort of system is being adopted, to be adopted in Liberia. Because police will just look at the criminality, the criminal aspect of the case, and not to speak on the medical issue. Medical personnel will address medical issue because there will be questions that will come. You can't answer medical question. So this sort of self-indictment by authority erase a lot of questions to the people, to the public out there. It's not just only Liberian listening. The world is listening. Anything that suffers, anything that happens on the social media, it going worldwide. So it's just not only within our closeness, it's out of our hand. So when you and I want the best to represent my country, whether I'm for or against is not an issue of against the government, but I want the best face to represent my country so that when you talking, when I have a Sierra Leonean friend, when I have a Nigerian friend, when I have a Ghanaian friend, and they are listening, they will say, yes, this person gets hair on their shoulder. But when you come out speaking for the major institutions, the national police, on what appears to be this sort of mysterious death, if you don't have information, that's why the war comes in. Investigation continues, and we will be providing deep briefing. We see it happening here. The first thing they do, they come and brief the public. They tell you, yes, this is what has happened. So far, this is what we know. But when you become definitive in your answer, this not happen, then you have to come and tell us in detail as to how you arrive at that point. And so when these people appear on some of these networks, our friends and folks should listen carefully when these people are speaking. I have a voicemail here. I have tons of messages that I've sent to also give you an opportunity. I need more clarification, and I hope he will answer our call to come here. But because the manner in which we have embraced and take the media or the news in Liberia to be more of an entertainment to entice people, this is how they take our case. This is how they take our things that should be serious. This is how they take it. Politicians come to create they become a political satire. They become a comedian. And we think it's funny. We laugh with it. And their supporters cheer them out. They give them justifications of their action. When it becomes serious, then we'll put our tongue on our throat, because when you want to push, they have defense counsel out there in tons will defend them to the core belly. It is absurd. It is ridiculous. And this is something that we need to stop. So we, the civilians, we all have to facilitate these kind of awkward behaviors. This lady received a phone call. We can say why somebody called her, why she gone. That's how we, for now, know with limited information things that she involved in. As she knew that somebody was going to call her to kill her or something bad was going to happen to her, believe me, I don't think she's going to be that dumb to go there. Perhaps it was a sort of friendly call. I'm making an educated guess here, for which she will leave Capitol Hill to get on a taxi or motorbike or find whatever way to make her way to ELWA Junction. There must be a reason. What is important? The motive. Why this happened to her and who did that? Should government take a different approach and maybe do an inventory to do a check? Because I said that last night on this network. When I was in Liberia a few days ago, these people's warehouse looked like a cave. Very fearful to enter. Because when you go in a store, sometimes you buy things, and I know everything cannot be in stockpile within the store itself. There has to be in the warehouse. That's okay. That's understandable. But when a customer is leaving the store to go even pick up something, then safety comes first. The security of the place. Where did she pass? Did she go through the store and end up being down there, or did she go through whatever side gate or back gate? And who were those people that were there? Someone must be answerable. By this time, over 72 hours now, we must be able to have someone, a person of interest, that will be the focus of the investigation. Who placed that call? Was that call directed by another person? But we'll first have to establish the caller. And if we get the caller, it will give us the lead as to how that call took place and who instructed that caller to call this lady. Why should this happen? I received a picture here from the family, beautiful daughter. Because this child is a minor, so we can't put that child there to create more emotional and psychological inflections on this child. But from the picture here, maybe 2 or 3 years of beautiful little girl, like the mother. Why should this happen? I saw a footage this morning. Protesters converge at the Capitol building. This is not the first time we're seeing these things happening. Where are the women group? Where are the advocates? I haven't seen, maybe it's out there, I haven't seen any position statement, even on these major institutions call themselves political institutions. I haven't seen any statement. It has nothing to do with politics. But when every Liberians, whether they are for or against, whether they are affiliated with any political party, they have the right to live, and everyone must be protected. But the folks that I saw today, there's so young people. Say, where are the mothers? And we're just talking about it here, because this thing, we have been talking about it over and over and over and over, and nothing yet to be done. No concrete action. The lawmakers that came down to, I will stand with you, will be with you, everywhere you go, we will go. Just read them, their old songs religion. You have been hearing about them. Sooner or later, the young children that are going out there in the next 1 week, 2 weeks, with no transportation to converge to meet, that's going to be the end. Yet we have 555 advocacy group. They write for this, human right for this, the women group for this, the men group for this. Some register, some not register. Some have members, some do not have members. They just collect people and carry them and do that sort of short-term interim chanting or demonstration. And at the end of the day, to gain that publicity stung before cameras, and at the end of the day, it go dead. So where are the women group? Where are the men group? Somebody's daughter, potentially somebody's wife to be. I will listen to the story this morning according to what the reporter was saying. The gentleman that broke the news, she was also in the planning of a wedding. And all of a sudden, I don't want to play that tape where the fiancé enter the premises, the premises where her body was found. Where are we as a country, as a people, as a nation? Who might have done that and for what reason? Could possibly try to figure this out. That you look at someone created under the divine image or divine holiness of the Most High, and you decided to supposedly take the person's life. With a sort of profuse bleeding, blood from the mouth or nose or to whatever, it's not automatic. I'm not a doctor. I'm not drawing the conclusion here, but I'm just saying visually things that I see, because image, it does speak volume. Image also tell us what happens and what is unfolding. It's not a motor accident to say, oh, this person was involved in a motor accident. It's a very secluded place. You have to go through a path. So if these young kids are not going up there to the backyard to find something to eat, probably we wouldn't know. It would have been disposed anyway. Who the heck were those people? They are security there. Where are they? Where are they? Why somebody is not speaking? And I was in Liberia. This tendency of us, Liberian, always like to manage crisis, even though we can't even manage a crisis effectively. But I've seen that, I saw that numerous times when I was driving around, walking around. People will be attacked, somebody would need help, and people passing by is none of their business. They don't want to do anything with it. When you get at a crucial point, or when it becomes ugly, or when it becomes obituary, then that's when we have we're going to talk. We want to talk. Yet we say we are a nation, a nation of a Christian country, 555,000 churches in one community, not talking about the country, but the wickedness is above the roof. And you think we will get blessed, and you think good thing gonna happen? It's both sides. Everybody wicked. Everybody bad. Even to the unborn. Any nations of such, it is a condemnation from the Most High. Because we are like a dead man walking. And all of these people here who want state power, we are not getting enough from them. We are not hearing enough from them as to how, even if they even become leaders, how differently it will be done. Instead, you, their supporters, you are those also facilitate these sort of bad behaviors, because you don't even have the guts to also tell them when they are doing these things. You clap, you give justifications of their action. This person did it yesterday. It passed by, we let it go, no action was taken, so Alfonso can do the same thing today. And yet, we want to be the Ghana, we want to be the Sierra Leone, we want to be the Nigeria, we want to be like USA. No. For those of you in the West, like myself, if I'm doing something ugly that potentially want to endanger someone's life, a neighbor or a passerby can either call 911 or have a direct intervention. That's not the case in Liberia. It's the mind your business. God for all, everybody for themselves. I understand there's other people reside within that compound. Can they tell me no one was broad day? That's the thing about a broad horizon. What occurring, what there occurring, what none there, visibility is there. People could see. Up to this point, we can get a genuine, authentic, we can bring the culprit to book. The greatness of this country here, it might sound insane and crazy. The greatness of this country is how the government of this country treats its citizens. As long as you are citizens of this country, black, white, green, blue, purple, your life matters. They will do everything possible they can to protect you, even if you are in danger, to do everything possible they can to rescue you. That's not the case with us. All of us who must be a brother's keeper, who must be able to, if you see something, report it. Someone should know. Someone witness it deep down with their conscience. Why can't they come out to tell us? While we're in the conversation, the other gentleman thing happened right there at, I believe, Jalatown or whatever it is. So it has become a routine every other time. And endless investigation. All of these creates apprehensions of people to come to a conclusion that a government is not serving them. If your police spokesperson can come out, I'm not saying come to make a conclusion, yeah, this is it, but the circumstances surrounding that. If you're not come up with all of the findings, it's better to come clean and tell the public, hey, investigation continues. We are still looking into the investigation. But when you have blood pouring out, even though nothing is on the physical is being shown, as the family doctor or Momon said, we don't know what took place internally. And Dr. Rockefeller was here yesterday. We had this conversation. So the forensic or the autopsy, I'm happy the government has called for the autopsy and hope it will establish, it will lead us somewhere to know. And not just only tell us the cause of death, but if people or if someone is involved, he or she must pay the price. And I think the doctor, Mama, was very professional. I don't know why people were, this is the craziness of our people. Other people were smashing. When you're a professional person, you're not a professional. If you're a professional person, you're a professional person. And I was monitoring when he was on Spoon and other people were there having all sort of things to say about him. Oh, he in the favor of the police, this and that. He's a professional person. He did a job. Can you do that? Be it your cousins or whatever, to have that courage to do what he did? He was speaking in the context of what he saw and what he believes happened. He didn't close the book, and that's why he said they will seek answers. But that's what happens when you have a bunch of stupid people. It's less costly to have plenty of stupid people, and it is expensive to deal with good people, and that's what happens. So he did. He noted everything. What can he do? He did what he's supposed to do. What's so what else? You expected him to jump into a fight? Someone who was already bleeding in the heart, internally almost, or literally, to take time to carry on all the examinations or physical checking that he was doing on somebody, not a different person. Put it in your shoe. If it was your cousins, your sisters, or whoever, or someone that you dearly know and they tell you to do, you'll be rolling on the ground. Crying doesn't bring people back, but he was trying what he was doing to establish the fact so that he would be able to make a case. And you listen to him. He said, I wish I got there in time that our body wasn't removed. Probably that would have given a pretty good idea. But we have so much of dumb people. When people talking, they are one side ear clogged. They don't listen. They just jump to conclusion because they just all they want to do to insult or accuse or say something ridiculous. They have no idea because their senses, instead of being 5, they get 2.5, and so the other one are tampering with the other one. And that's the problem we are having in the country. We are not even helping the situation. So multiple of people there. That's not the right person to represent the family. He's not this. He's compromised. He this, he that. Really? Can you withstand what he went through? Can you do it? You have become more problem to us. And the reason is simple. You don't come to these programs with an open mind. You'll come with your mind already made up. This is what I want to hear. This is where I want the conversation to go. This is the direction it should be. Premedicated mind. For us, we don't do it here. We don't. If you come here, the Liberia man say, if you come here with the hope that what you plan or what you hope to hear from us, you juke the rusty nail. We'll say as it is. You need to be told what you need to know. And that's why we make conversation proportional. We don't indict people. We create an open conversation. Let it come from your mouth. And the public and the people can decide. And so I don't care how tough it is, it becomes. We also extend an invitation to the accuser. And let's put finger in your throat so you will indict yourself. Our invitation is still out to Director Moses Carter. I still have interest in knowing when he said no foul play, how he got to that conclusion, how he got to that decision making. Was he a medical team advice? And who is that medical personnel? Was he an examination outside of what we know for now? That was a minister for which he closed that door. That's what I have interest. I just want to know. You know, I'm not saying what he says is bad. Maybe he can better defend himself, his position, his statement. So maybe there's something that I'm still not getting hold of. I just want to know. But I think we Liberians, we need, if we want that country to prosper, we want a country to be successful. What happened? Most of you people, you're like other people, you're like your political leaders or whatever group of people more than yourself. So more or less, they regulate your activities. Anything that says no to them, even when it should be no, you don't say no, simply because you have a hope of something being rewarded in the long term. But if you are patriotic Liberian, if you love the country, and even you love the person, you know what? You don't have to scream. You don't have to cuss. When the dust settles, when quietness is unfolding, you can take a phone call. You know what? I support, I trust you. But this XYZ you said today, yesterday, I don't think that's the right way to go. And you don't just only critique people. When you critique, you also put an alternative suggestion and you allow the persons to give you a thought. That what makes you a rational human being. That what makes you different from animal. And that's why we have 5 senses. Unless one is out, then you have a serious problem. We don't do that. We defend these people to the belly, and we give justifications of their action. But yet we want good governance. We want good society. We want transparent justice system. And you are facilitating these sort of behaviors in these people. When they get on the airflow tomorrow and they begin to make all of their cars windows dark and only the tire you see rolling, then you come back to tell us, knowing what I know now, it's late. So all of you get us to be where we are today. You are not exempted from it. And that's not the English word you wish to be told. If I've known, yes, because you didn't ask question. You wake up, you're cursing in this direction, you go in there. You wake up because this person is there, brand name, you go in there. Without giving a second thought, without asking all of the critical questions you should ask as a normal human being and as a Liberian if you love your country. We don't do that. This is why we get 555 political parties. This is why we have advocates all over the place. But they become so selective. When something happens to certain people, once you are not part of that group, you're never going to see their face. People raise money for a certain group of people because they are in their political blood, or they are their friends, say they are their patron. They are all in a group. They have their clique, they have their society. Forgetting to know they are all Liberians and we all get blood. Yet, we want good society. That's the building they're fighting for. Everybody want to be on the airflow. See how the building is so beautiful? That's where they want to go. But they are unable to justify to us why they want to be in that building, how they intend to do it differently. They are unable. And so when we begin to ask some of these questions, then you come back. Why you never asked that question that time? You people are the problem. And you need to stop. You need to stop. I hope. I saw Representative Subu, this other lady who the petition presented. I want to see the woman to play a more active role. These things are damaging to the country. They are not good in the sight of business, investors, foreign government, and all of that. And that's what I want my government, what I support or not, I want my government to understand, because when these things happen, it doesn't remain in our domain. It gets out there in the public. Now, when you Google or you go on YouTube and you type, there are some keywords, multiple information to depending on what you put in there comes out. If you have a billionaire or someone there, when they say those things, you begin to scratch your head. Should I go there? What the hell somebody will go in these people's store? They provide goods and services. People go there to buy. I don't care. Nobody should ask me why she went for it. I'm hearing some stupid thing. You get this. So what? Is that a justification to take somebody's life if she get a Lebanese boyfriend or whatever the case? This is sort of narrow mind that we have, and we pollute this serious business or conversation. She get a right, anybody ever Liberian get a right to go where they can go within the corridor of Liberia. Even you're going, all right, does that mean somebody should just do anything, harm you? Is that an argument? Why would somebody go in a business place, broad daylight? She went in freely and she can't come out freely, only for us to be having a sort of conversation. What took her there? Who she went to? Who placed that call? What was the nature of the call? Who are those she encountered? And how we got to this point? I hope the police will do their due diligence to do everything, because every Liberians deserve the right to live. Nobody should come to my house and then at the end of the day they can't get out. They walk in freely and they eventually turn to be a dead person. For what reason? I left a pretty daughter, left the house with the hope of going back home, hearing planning her wedding and all of that, and plays that sort of emotional video phone call to her friend. I wish something would have clicked in your head, maybe to have done like a live video, Facebook Live. That would have given her a sense, because they won't have the ability to delete that. Instead of messenger to video call, I wish something would just pop in your head to have just even make a 1 30-second live video. Definitely later we're going to capture people. Here we are today. A young lady and then the police chief telling us no foul play. That's what I have concern with. I think that should be the last resort. When the medical teams, the medical examiners, the district attorneys, they have gathered all and then come to the public, because what you present to the public, it also agitate, get people pissed. Why all the blood was pouring when she was leaving Capitol Hill? Why all these blood patterns or wasn't formed around City Hall or 72nd Junction? Why in that facility? And Dr. Momo said it. She has never been admitted lately. Pretty well kind of give a little run through of medical history, so we can come on that. We can say, okay, so then what happens? Why only blood pool out in that place and eventually she's no more, to tell us exactly what happened? That's the hurtful part of it. She's the only person, no. So she could be the person to tell her exactly who she encountered, who she went to, but she's no more. So justice is already being denied to her to tell us, to tell the world. When she entered the meaning, the second, who received her, what was offered to her, whether she had a drink, whether she had a meal or lunch or whatever, who gave her a handshake, who escorted her, how she got to that place, no one can tell us. She could be the perfect person to give a full interpretation upon her arrival and what happens. So she no more. You can get it. And you have our own Liberians, supposedly, who I got there. And up to this point in time, nobody can say anything, tell us anything. That's crazy. We need to get answers. We can't be having this all of the times as a country, as a people. It was not a motor accident. It didn't occur while she en route to EOWA. She managed, I don't know by what means she got there, but by the grace of God, she left Capitol Hill area, bypass or whatever it is, and safely arrived at ELW with all the keke, the motorbike, and all of the siren sound that is driving people nuts. She still managed to get to her destination. So then what happens upon her arrival? Who receive her? Did she bought anything in the store? Is a better material? Who she interacted with? How can she end up behind there? That's a secluded place. Someone must have facilitated her going there. Somebody might have escorted her there. Who is that person? Or who are those people? For God's sake. A little over 70 what? 2 hours now? We must be able to get an idea. Well, folks, it's 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here in the East Coast. I'm Afonso Z, and so we will continue to have this sort of conversation for the good of our country, for the good of our people. But I think she deserves justice. Until all of us can become rational in our judgment and put our thinking cap and little more step up to the game to love our country, to have our Liberia as a nation, regardless of the poverty, this not there, no current, no electricity, road not pay, roads are bad. Yes, it is your home until we can build that in mind to say this is our country. If you see something, report it. If you see someone's life is being in danger, call for help. Play your part. Do whatever you can do so that person will have a fair chance to have a chance to live. And they can give that testimony. It is because of this person. Maybe it's because of Mr. Nangwe, Fred Nangwe, that I'm about. That would be a good testimony. But what I saw in Liberia, everybody for their say, the only time they want something, the only time they need something for you, they become so submissive. Our pa, our man, even if they can burn you, then you become our pa, you become our man. But when people killing you, when they're taking your phone, no our pa, no our man. That's how they behave. But when they want it from you, forget it. All the lovely names, our man, even though he or she is 65 and you're 25, but at that point in time, you become our man, you become our pa, because they want something out of you. But when you are dying, when you need help, no our pa, no our man. It is freaking annoying. Why should somebody go out and can't return to their home? Why? What could possibly be the reason? Who did that? For what reason? That warrant you to take people's life? Who doesn't want to live? Who doesn't have a good life? They give them protection, they carry them. They need to ask them what happened. They are the owner of that place. They know who all live there. The citizen left there when somebody called her. She didn't go there at home. Even if she went there on her own, it doesn't give anybody right to do anything to anybody. The place is not being sanctioned to say nobody can go there. It's not a no-fly zone. It's a business entity. People go there to buy. They provide goods and services. First thing we must understand. I don't get it. For what reason? For what reason? And she placed that sort of emotional video call to her friend. I wanted the police are saying me, they are killing me. Are they asking who are they? Are they concerned who the they are? Are they concerned who killing? Because she's saying something illegal is being done to her. They are taking my life. Are they concerned to find those people, who they are, for what reason? So they will tell us, so they will tell the world, they will tell the country, they will tell her family, telling her friend, they are killing me. Up to this point in time, we don't have an answer. See this?
Actually, a frustrating one to start at the moment. So the security showing how they put up the body.
Yes. Courtesy of Cool FM, Edwin Butterfiant, I will be hosting here. See that picture? That's the friend there. That's the friend that placed the phone call. Imagine what she's going through. Somebody call you, say they are killing me. And indeed, it comes to pass. You die. Folks, have a pleasant day. This is how we're going to leave here for the rest of the evening.
Hallelujah. The highest praise. Hallelujah. Give him the highest praise. Hallelujah. Give him the highest praise. In the morning when I wake up, in the night when I wake up, I will lift up my voice to heaven and give him the highest praise. Hallelujah to my King. Hallelujah to my Father. Hallelujah to my Jesus. I bow before the throne. When I look at all the wonder and I see all the creation, the beauty of the universe, you never change. You never lie. You never change. You never fail. Hallelujah to my Jesus. Hallelujah. 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 Hey. Hallelujah.